Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and you're listening to Subhash Chandran. In this video, we are going to see how to select the best course and at the same time how to escape from scam. Because a lot of people are offering fake course that is not even helpful to understand the basic knowledge about something that you wanted to learn. So it's really important to understand how you can select the best course and to avoid the fake course actually. And this video is not only for piping engineers. The intent of this video is also made in such a way that it is also applicable for, also helpful for the candidates who are trying to learn something in different other engineering fields or any other engineering fields. So without wasting time, let's get into the video. And if you are a new viewer, I kindly request you to give me a subscription because your subscription is the only motivation I have to put more videos and to share more knowledges. So I'll be sharing more interesting videos and interesting concepts about the piping design. This will be very helpful for you to understand the basic engineering process or basic designing philosophies in the piping design. Let's get into the subject. Choosing a right course has always been a biggest challenge for most of us, especially for those who want to start a career in piping, and also for the candidates who wanted to start their career in any other fields, basically not only in piping. The biggest doubt and the challenge is that what type of course should I take, and the type of course that I'm going to take will give me or get me a good job or not actually. And we not only these doubts, and we do have more doubts whether it is futuristic, whether it has a future, how long I can get an opportunity to work, and whether it can yield a good salary, high salary. So there are lots of doubt that goes into our mind actually. So these doubts are not only for freshers, it is also for an experienced people, those who wanted to upgrade their knowledge to go to a next level, like a higher level, to achieve more goals basically. But choosing a course is not a big deal at all. We have much more bigger problem. As long as we don't address the bigger problem, and we always feel that choosing a course is a big deal, but actually speaking, the choosing a course is not a big deal. So what is the biggest problem? The real problem is that we do not know what we wanted to become. As long as we do not know what we wanted to become, how do we choose the right course actually? Let's understand these through an example. Let's say a person named A who wanted to become a driver. So he has decided that he wanted to become a driver. So his action to get to his dream job is that, so first he went to a driving school to learn driving, then he learned driving, and then he cleared his driving test, and once after clearing the test he took a license, and now he is ready to go. Now he is in his dream job. But at the same time, if you look at the person B actually, who has not decided anything about his profession, anything about his future actually. So what he generally does, he listens to his friends, or he listens to a lot of people's opinion basically, by which what will happen, he gets a lot of confusion with the too many information that he has. So basically when you have a lot of information, then the next important activity is that whether you will compare which type of job gives you a money or interest in the sense your subject interest and your passion. You don't care about, you don't give time to understand your interest, but rather you try to find a job that can give you a good money basically. And finally, and what happens with a lot of confusions, they will go with the friend's recommendation, and the later stage you can understand what may happen. So the first thing one should do before even thinking about the course is that choose your profession. Choosing a right profession is one of the important stage in your life, because this activity you are doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for someone else. I know this activity is not that easy to do it actually, but I guess with a lot of videos in YouTube you'll be able to find a method to find your own passionate profession. Profession in the sense, let's say that you wanted to become someone in automobile sector actually. See, automobile sector is a field, and profession means that there are a lot of professions inside within the automobile sector. Say for an example, there is a design profession, there is a manufacturing profession, there is a production facilities, like there are a lot of professionals working, and there is something called quality, and there is something called sales and marketing actually. So you need to find your interest to identify your profession. So in piping, even in oil and gas, we have design, construction, projects. So this is known as profession. So first thing is that you have to identify your profession. So what is next? Once after identifying your profession, is it right time to select the type of course? No, not at this stage. you have something very important to do right after choosing your profession. What is it? After choosing your profession, the first thing you have to do is that collect as many information as possible about this profession, because you have chosen some profession, you wanted to know the maximum informations about this profession, and you should also discuss with the right people. I think this is not that much the tough to do it, because right now with the LinkedIn and the lot of informations available in internet, you will be able to pull out lot of informations about a particular profession, basically to understand the nature of job. This is what you wanted to understand actually. You should be able to understand the nature of job. I'll tell you why it is actually, why this stage is very important. Because in this stage you will understand the true nature of job, and you will be able to list down the activities that are done by these professionals in daily basis, and you have to make a list of activities, and you will be able to understand the subject knowledge, because every field has something called a subject knowledge and something called a tools knowledge. So you have to identify what is the subject knowledge and what are the tools knowledge required actually. So these are the four important things, and you have to understand before even thinking about a course. Let's understand this from an example. Let's say someone wants to become a driver. So the first thing is that he wants to aware about the signs in the road, because he is going to drive in the road. He needs to aware about the signs, and he also wanted to understand about the safety of himself and safety of the people in the road, and safety and what kind of accident that he can do if he is going to drive in a rash way. So basically he needs to have a basic understanding about the safety, and then he can go for driving. Imagine someone else who wanted to learn driving go on to buy a new car without even aware about the signs and safety. What may happen? You can understand the damage that he is going to bring in the society actually. Let's understand this from a better example. Let's say there is a person called A, and who wanted to become a pipe stress engineer. So he has decided that he wants to become a pipe stress engineer. So what he did, he has discussed and collected as many informations as possible, and he checked with the available institutes around his ambience, and he inquired which institute can give him a best knowledge about this to learn to become the pipe stress engineer. And the only thing he wants to do is that to finalize the options actually. If he has 2-3 options, he needs to finalize one. So this is the only thing that he has to do. Let's see a person B, what happens in reality actually. Generally, few candidates won't have any idea about what they wanted to become. So what they generally do, like someone will recommend to them, let's say that someone has recommended to go for piping, then they go and approach the nearby institutes. Generally, you know that institutes are they come out with a fancy offers, and moreover they offer a course with a job assistant, because this is the only term that you are looking for actually. So if you see a course with the job assistance, immediately you will jump into it. And finally, after taking course blindly, they have to suffer, because there is no direction. They do not know what they wanted to become. So what is the meaning of taking a particular course? Now I'll show you the list of professions available in piping engineering, and this will be very helpful for the candidates who wanted to start their career in piping. So there is the first field is the piping design engineers. This is a particular profession, and the training and the subject knowledge required is entirely different than the other professions actually. And the second profession is pipe stress engineer. Again, pipe stress engineers and piping design engineers are two entirely different professions. And the third one is that piping material engineers. Again, the third the profession is completely entirely different than the other two actually. And the fourth one is a piping construction engineer, and the fifth one is piping project engineer, and the sixth one is piping design engineers, who does the 3D modeling or the 2D drafting. Basically, in piping we have 6 different professions, and the knowledge, and the subject knowledge and the tools that are required to work in these different types of professions are entirely different. So there is no meaning in taking one particular course to become someone in this piping engineering actually. So you have to identify which profession that you wanted to become, and then take a respective training. Now I will show you how few institutes in our country are cheating people in the name of fake courses. The first thing is that if you wanted to become a piping design engineer, they will offer you a piping design course. The title looks like this actually, and their activities, the contents that they are going to teach you is that Generally, most of the institutes and 99% of the institutes, they teach only tools. Tools, either it could be a 3D tool like PDS, PDMS, SP3D, or a 2D tools like AutoCAD or something actually. And the second important thing is that they only give you an overview of piping. You can imagine that now I have listed 6 professions, and all these professions are completely entirely different than the other profession. And what is the meaning of giving an overall overview about the piping? Overview is about, they will give you an introduction about the piping and about the industries actually. They won't give you anything more than that actually. And the beautiful part of the training will be they will also offer you with a CSET2 training. CSET2 is a tool that is used for pipe stress engineering. So if you wanted to become a piping design engineer and learning a CSET2, it's two contradicting thing actually. And moreover, you should understand, tool is a tool. Unless until you unless until you know of the subject knowledge, you cannot use the tool. Basically, as I said, if you do not know about driving, there is no point in buying a new car. You have to learn driving and then buy a new car actually. So these are two contradicting things. I think there are a lot of institutes in our country, they are trying to lure people in the name of teaching tools actually. And most fresh engineers also believe that tools are something known as a subject knowledge. No, tools are completely different. Tools are just tools. Even if you wanted to learn tools, you can learn tools in a much more cheaper way, because they are going to fake you in the name of piping design course, and they'll charge you more money to learn the same tools actually. So if you go and identify an institute where you can find only those who are teaching the tools, you can find in a very much cheaper rate. And the fourth important point is that they will issue a certificate. And this is one of the, I think, most the funniest thing that can happen in piping basically. Piping certificates, according to my experience, I have 15 years of experience, I have attended a lot of interviews, and I also interview a lot of candidates. But so far in my experience, I have not produced, and I was not asked to produce a certificate in none of the interviews. Even I have never asked to any candidates to produce the certificate. So basically, piping certificate is useless to have. So what is important is that you should have the subject knowledge. So let's say that you have a certificate, you do not have a subject knowledge, you are rejected. So if you have a subject knowledge, even if you don't have a certificate, you are accepted actually. And the fifth important thing is that job assistance and job assurance. This is the beautiful term that can lure the fresh candidates basically. The moment you see this job assistant and assurance, you will go and fall into the trap. So what you have to think is that job assistance means what? They are not going to get you a job. They will help you in shaping up your CV. They will give you informations about how you can attend, how you can prepare. Moreover, the maximum that they can do is that they can tell you that some interviews are going over here, you can go and attend. These are the few things that they can do actually. It doesn't mean that they can get you a job. So beware about this scam basically, because these are some of the scams that people easily go and spend their money, and finally they are going to suffer once after paying the money. I'll show you this the picture that you are seeing on the screen is the course offered in LinkedIn. I was shocked to see this actually. This exactly meets what I said. You can I have just made the name of the person hidden because I don't want to disclose his name. He is openly saying our next online the online piping design course starts from a particular day, and the list of the course details and fee structures are as follows. If you look at this list, I don't see any theoretical concepts. Basically, all this list consists only a tools. PDMS is a tool, SP3D tool, and E3D is a tool, and AutoCAD piping is a tool. So in the name of piping design course, he is teaching a tool. Actually, if he has made this course title in a different way, something like piping 3D modeling course and piping 2D drafting course, then it is little more relevant. But instead, in the name of piping design, what most engineers will think, learning the tool is a piping design course. so they will immediately start paying the money and they'll learn. But it's not the course actually, because this course does not have any theory and does not have any concepts and doesn't teach about any standards. So basically you're not going to learn anything about the fundamental engineering of engineering that is being done in piping design. So you have to understand a very important thing. To get a job, only three things are important: knowledge, skill and experience. So for freshers, and you will not have an experience, but you will get an opportunity where freshers are taken. Where the freshers are taken, you will be evaluated based only on your knowledge and skill actually. So these are the three important things that is required. But most institutes in our country are teaching a useless course. Useless course in the sense they'll teach you some course, but that won't be useful for you, because you know that as long as you do not have any idea about what you wanted to become, you will go on learning many things. So you have to decide your profession, and after deciding a profession, it is easy for you to understand the course. The biggest problem is that they don't differentiate between the subject knowledge and the tools knowledge. You go to any institute, they will first offer you tools. But as long as that you do not aware about what is subject knowledge and what is tool knowledge, how do you go and ask them actually? You have to ask them what kind of subject knowledge you are going to teach us and what kind of tool you are going to teach us. You are offering a piping design course, and what kind of activities that we are going to learn, and what are the design activities that we can do once after completion. So this is one of the important step. Identify the profession, and once after identifying a profession, check the subject knowledge and check the tools knowledge. If you can do these two important steps, then easily you will be able to identify the best course that is suitable for you, because most institutes are teaching only tools or dead basic in the sense you will be able to only understand about the industry, not even the fundamentals of the engineering. So it is really important for you to understand what is subject knowledge and what is the tools knowledge. Otherwise, and you are going to fall on trap actually. Then what you can do is that you can check with the institutes and how much they can teach you. See, they will have some restrictions, and most of the institutes, they will have some restrictions in terms of faculty availability, because they will only have a faculty who can teach tools. They will not have faculty who can teach the subject. So you have to go to multiple institutes so that you can learn tools from a different institute and the subject from a different institute. Here the intent is that you have to identify the subject knowledge and you have to identify the tools knowledge and learn the tools from somewhere and learn the subjects knowledge from somewhere actually. For example, let's say someone who wants to become a piping design engineer. I will tell you what kind of subject knowledge you should ask with an institute. Let's say you have decided that you wanted to become a piping design engineer. So you must know what kind of subject knowledge that you should learn actually. The first and foremost thing is that you should know about the overview of piping in process plan. What is process plan and how pipings are used in process plan. This is just a basic, so that you will get an introduction about it. And the next important thing is that you should know about, they must teach you about the basics of pipes, pipe fittings and valves. And the third important point is that they must teach you about the process plant design engineering process in the sense stage by stage of engineering. And the fourth one is that you will be you should be trained to read the PFD, P&ID and line list. These are the documents used in piping design. So you should be able to read all these documents once after completing your course. And the fifth point is that they should teach you what is plot plan and how to make a plot plan, how to make an equipment, GA and its concepts and guidelines. And the sixth one is that they should teach you the piping layout concepts and guidelines. And the next point is that they must teach you how to prepare a piping layout from scratch. So this is what you wanted actually. You should be able to develop a piping layout from scratch. So if you're going to a course and they don't teach you how to prepare a piping layout from scratch, there is no point in taking a course. And the next point is that pipe routing for various equipments, because in a plant, in a process plant, in an industry, there are different types of equipments are available. So you must know how to route a piping for all of these equipments. So they should give you a clear knowledge about how you can route the piping. And the next thing is that they should teach you about the types and pipe supports philosophy, how you can provide pipe supports. And finally, not finally, we have few more points to see. And they should also teach you to prepare the piping isometrics from layout, because piping isometrics is one of the important deliverable in piping. You should know how to prepare the piping isometrics once after completing the course actually. And last but not the least actually, you must be able to develop an MTO in different stages of project, because MTO is known as a material list. So material takeoff basically, MTO is a material takeoff basically. So at different stages of projects, and we used to issue different list of materials. So you must be able to understand how this document needs to be prepared. So at least if they are able to cover these these many subjects knowledge to you, then this course will be very useful for you. But if they don't teach you even 70% of from the list, then there is no point in taking up a course actually. Now I'll tell you what is the tools knowledge required. So if you wanted to become a piping design engineer, you should know any one 3D modeling tool. So in 3D we have PDS, SP3D, PDMS and E3D and CADWorks. So you should be able to learn any tools. There are lots of institutes offering tools at very cheaper rate. If you are willing to learn only the tools, they will offer you at a very cheaper rate. And the 2D tools is AutoCAD and MicroStation. But that is what I was repeatedly saying actually. Few institutes in the name of piping design, they will only teach you tools, but instead you don't ask about piping design course. You ask about you wanted to learn a particular tool, let's say SP3D. I wanted to learn SP3D, only teach this. I don't want anything else actually. So like that we have to go and convince them. And moreover, though it is a 2D or 3D, you should be able to practice for minimum 100 hours after your completion of course. Because during the course, what happens, you are learning. You will not have any doubts. You will get doubts only after completing the course. Once you complete the course, you are aware about the many things about the course, and your doubts arises from inside. But while learning, you do not know anything about the tools, and how do you question them? So it's really important to get 100 minimum practice hours after the course, so that you can learn about this course in all dimensions. Otherwise, you will have a lot of doubts within you, and you may not be able to perform during the interview. Now I'll tell you the best way to learn subject knowledge, because most institutes won't teach you a subject knowledge, as they have a short of faculty and they do not have faculty. So usually they generally teach you tools. So the best way to learn subject knowledge is to learn from the working engineers in the same field. I think it is not that difficult activity now here, because through LinkedIn you will be able to find thousands of professionals. You can ask them, you can chat with them whether they can teach you the subject knowledge of a particular profession you wanted to become. So it will be very helpful for you. You will be able to understand the reality. You will be able to understand the right informations. You will get the right knowledge. You don't have to worry about it, because they are already working in a particular field. They will be able to teach you the right thing actually, instead of going to an institute. But tools, most of them may not be able to teach you. You know why? It is because tools are very costly to buy. So working engineers may not have these tools with them. Only institutes can afford for tools. That's one of the reason they are charging more for your course basically. The cost of the tools are much higher, 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs or something. So you can learn the subject knowledge from the working professionals. You can chat with these engineers through LinkedIn and ask their availability. Nowadays you don't have to worry about the materials. Materials are already available on internet. There are a lot of free downloading books are available. Even for materials, I have already made a video about the list of the best books that can change the life of piping design engineer to learn about the designing actually. So you can find those books even for free downloading. I think if you're good at downloading from your internet, you'll be able to identify the free downloading. You can find one of my previous videos listing out the best books in piping basically. So this is one of the best method. If you talk to any working engineer, and if he is available, he can contribute his time to you, and he can teach you the best knowledge that you want, so that you can become something that you wanted to become at much cheaper rate. Because since they are not an institution, they must be ready to negotiate with you, and since they do not have any fixed cost, so it's only about the time, only about the availability of their time actually. So you can talk to them, you can speak to them openly, frankly, to negotiate. So I guess that you'll be able to find a right price with a better knowledge than the institutes for subject knowledge. But as I said, for tools, I think you may have to go for institutes actually. So I guess this video is very helpful for you to understand how you have to choose the best course and how you should escape from the scams basically. So beware about these scams, and it's really important to understand what you're doing. Do not put your money in something that where you don't understand, you do not know. The first thing is that you have to finalize your profession, and once after finalizing your profession, collect more informations and make sure that you aware the list of activities, and identify the list of activities that are being done in this profession, and then go and check with the institutes whether they can teach you this list of activities or not. If they are teaching, then you can take the same course, and if they are not in a position to teach you, you can talk to any working professionals, and working professionals will help you to learn the right subject knowledge, because they are already working, so they can help you better basically. So thank you so much for watching my videos, and thank you so much for your support. If you really like this video, please don't hesitate to give me a like, because that gives me some sort of an fulfillment. And also share with your friends, and if you feel that this video is useful to be shared. And also, if you are a new viewer, please give me a subscription, because as I used to say that this is the only motivation I have, so nothing excites me more than this. So I'll be putting more videos about piping design, so that keep watching my channel. I'll meet you in another fantastic video. Until then, bye from Subhash Chandran.